This week was celebration time for the winners in Bihar's assembly election. Nail-biting finish. Nearly went into a super over, screamed the media. It would be wise to go beyond the big bash and look at some of Bihar's ground realities. First things first. Talk of Bihar and what comes to mind immediately is its population of 120 million. If Bihar were a nation, it would be the 12th most populous country in the world, behind Japan and just ahead of Ethiopia, which would then be number 13. And it has the highest fertility rate in the country, meaning proportionally more Biharis have been born in India since independence than people in any other state. According to the 2011 census, India had a decadal growth of 17.7%, while it was 25.4% for Bihar. But except for that growth rate in population, almost everything about that growing population of Bihar is depressing. On infant mortality, it would be on par with Botswana. On life expectancy, it would compare with Rwanda. In poverty, it would rank with Gabon. In nutrition, it would equal Djibouti. And in connectivity, it would compare with Afghanistan. The picture is equally bleak in comparison with the other states of India. The 2019 Niti Aayog Health Index put Bihar at the second spot from the bottom, just ahead of Uttar Pradesh. Bihar has India's highest infant mortality rate of 35 deaths for every 1,000 births. Its sex ratio is a poor 918 girls for every 1,000 boys, compared with India's 943 girls for every 1,000 boys. Its literacy rate of 62% falls far below India's literacy rate of 73%. A third of Bihar's population falls below the poverty line. And believe it or not, the state of 120 million people has only about 45,000 doctors. Or in other words, just about 4 doctors for every 10,000 people. Bihar is largely agrarian and there is a high unemployment rate, forcing Biharis to scout for jobs around the country. So when the nationwide lockdown was imposed in March, some 3 million plus workers from Bihar around the country had to walk back home. Sadly, political leaders in the media cried relentlessly for Sushant Singh Rajput, the movie star from Bihar who committed suicide, but largely ignored the starving masses of some 3 million plus workers of Bihar who were trudging home. Does the latest assembly election mean a new future for Bihar? Not if we go by the composition of the candidates. 89% of the constituencies this time had 3 or more candidates who had criminal cases against them. It is pertinent to ask if the 5-year governments in Bihar are making any real change to the lives of the average Biharis. These are days when India's political parties do not just want to defeat their rivals, but want to rid the country of them. So the BJP has a Congress Mukt Bharat propaganda. And last year, Rajya Sabha MP Subramaniam Swamy warned the BJP federal government that if it didn't fix the economy, there would be a BJP Mukt Bharat. If we consider Bihar, it has been Congress Mukt since 1989. And if the RJD government of Lalu Prasad Yadav was called the Jungle Raj, Bihar has been Jungle Raj Mukt for 15 years. And there have been 15 years of Nitish Kumar. But after all these years, the average Bihari ranks nearly at the bottom of every human development index. And there are celebrations on the streets of Patna with a new election result. The heights of irony. One particularly saddening aspect of Bihar is its educational status. Bihar once had the world's most famous center of learning, Nalanda. But modern day education in Bihar has come to mean more like this. An undereducated society can be sold all sorts of promises. We'll generate 1 million government jobs if we are elected, said the RJD. We'll create 1.9 million jobs in total, said the BJP and JDU. What then is the sunny side of Bihar? Easily its young population. 58% of Biharis are below the age of 25. In the 2011 census, the median age of Bihar was a shade under 20 years. Even in 2036, Bihar's median age will be below 30 when the rest of India will be much older. Tapping into that massive demographic dividend or the economic potential of young populations is the challenge before Bihar's leaders. Bihar is the land of Ashoka, Chandragupta Maurya, Chanakya, Mahavira of Jainism, and Sher Shah Suri, who introduced the rupiah currency system. Gautama Buddha spent a lot of his life in Bihar, and India's first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, taught in Bihar and practiced law in Bihar. Megasthenes wrote the book Indica about India after visiting Pataliputra, the present-day Patna. And in later years, in recent times, we've had personalities from Shatrughan Sinha to Yashwant Sinha, and of course, Sushant Singh Rajput. But post the Congress Raj and the Lalu Raj and 15 years of the Nitish Raj, Bihar continues to be a laggard among all Indian states. Its industrial sector so crippled that jobs for its youth remain a dream. A recent report showed that the outstanding bank credit to units in Bihar constituted a mere 0.5% of the all India figure. Therefore, as the lockdown is lifting, millions of Biharis are going back to Mumbai, Delhi, Punjab, Hyderabad, and even Kerala in search of jobs after the 5-year ritual of voting in a new government. But the new government has promised them 1.9 million more jobs. Biharis may be low on literacy, but they know how much to trust their political leaders, it seems. So the worker exodus out of Bihar resumes. Celebrating that is a pity. Thank you.